Richard Pater is director of BICOM, the British Israel Communications and Research Centre. Richard, you're in Jerusalem this afternoon. Can you give us your thoughts about this operation?
Sure. Thank you very much indeed for having me. On. I think the hospital, first of all, has been a long-term target. It's been known for over a decade and a half, kind of widely understood in Israel, that the hospital had underneath it a significant infrastructure, command and control of the Hamas military operations. And just like other sites within Gaza, the Hamas modus operandi is to deliberately base their military sites underneath civilian infrastructure. We saw examples in schools, in hospitals, in mosques, in UN compounds, and the understanding is that you can only get there by going on the ground. So this is part of the logic behind the Israeli operation to go in on the ground.
We're going to talk in a moment to a doctor and who's worked in that hospital, and that what you're describing would involve the complicity of medical staff who've only taken an oath to save lives, right?
Not necessarily, no. I think there is. No one's disputing that it is a hospital as well. It is a functioning hospital. By the way, the latest update I received was that in parallel, in the upper floors, the hospital is still running. Israel also sent in doctors speaking Arabic to be able to help and assist the medical team there, whilst on the underground and on the lower floors, the IDF commandos are operating, assessing exactly what is going on there. So I think there's a very sad and bitter contradiction that you can have a medical facility functioning, but at the same time also serving as inadvertently, perhaps, as a human shield to Hamas terrorists.
And I've stressed at this end, I don't know at the moment what, if any, Hamas presence there is under the hospital. I guess we're going to find out in due course. But surely the priority here is, let's start with the 39 premature babies in the incubators. Surely that's got to be the very first thought for anyone in this area.
Listen, absolutely. I think the IDF demonstrates as much as it can do that it has the interest, that it's never targeting the innocent civilians in Gaza, and that they are making those efforts to protect and to make sure that those babies and the other innocent Palestinians are going to be okay. I would just challenge another aspect of what you just said, because it's not clear. We found the shaft, one of the shafts to the tunnels, but the assessment also, I understand, is that because this ground operation has already been running for 2 weeks, it's highly likely that the most senior operatives have already fled the scene, and therefore there is a current debate within the IDF. If their assessment, the intelligence, is that the hostages are no longer there, the commanders are no longer there, is there still if it doesn't suit the military objectives, is it worth risking soldiers' lives to go into those tunnels just for the PR?
Well, hang on. I mean, this is an issue of cutting water and power to a hospital with ill babies in it, surely.
Again, that's not my understanding. My understanding is that in parallel to a military operation underneath, they're making every effort to bring in food and water and medical supplies, and as your correspondent said, even incubators as well, to try and save and help the civilian population.
Thank you very much, Richard Pater, who's the director of BICOM, the Britain Israel Communications and Research Centre.